Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a quick Q&A for today for Game of Thrones, or at least I was going to, and then the goddamn episode got leaked, and like everyone except for me has seen it and spoiled the shit out of it for me already. Yeah, so spoiler warning, and don't scroll down. Just do yourself a favor if you haven't seen the episode yet. Don't look at the comments. I'm not going to ask you to leave a comment. Don't look at the comments. Don't scroll down. Maybe stay offline with regards to Game of Thrones for the next little while until at least you see the episode tomorrow night. I've done one already because the episode earlier this season was leaked. It was episode 4. I mean, that was bad enough, but this is like... This really irks me because, okay, you guys got to see my perspective. Now, if you've watched the episode, okay, cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, here's what happened to me, right? So, I'm just living my life, I'm doing my job after my shifts. I'm, getting ready to make videos for you guys. Want to do the usual, Q&A videos for Game of Thrones and some for Walking Dead. And on Wednesday, people started telling me, Trev, episode 6 got leaked, bro. Check it out, watch it early, and do a review. This is something where I don't do that anymore. It's happened before in the past where stuff's gotten leaked, and I don't do that until the official coverage date when it actually, I do my review after it officially airs. Now the reason for that is because it makes people feel left out, and people want to watch the review because a lot of you guys are fans of the channel. A lot of you guys want to watch the review, but the people that haven't watched the leak and don't want to, they're not into that thing, the type of thing. They don't really want to watch, they don't want to have everything spoiled for them, but at the same time, it creates a situation where people feel left out is what happens. Because people are like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. Trev's seen it. He already did a review. And I feel left out. I want to watch Trev's review, but now I can't because the episode hasn't released yet. So I'm going to be doing the usual thing. I'm going to be watching it premiere night. I'm not going to watch the leak early. And I'll do the review and all the usual videos after the episode airs. Now, the thing is at this time, I'll say, and this video won't, I'm not going to tell you any spoilers in this video, but it's comments, I usually go through the comments to, sometimes to clean out garbage because people leave a lot of ridiculous nonsense in the comments, but, to interact with you guys, to grab questions for Q&As and stuff like that. And yeah, it got spoiled for me already. Episode 6 is spoiled for me as of Thursday, and so now I'm in a state where, this is probably going to be the only Game of Thrones Q&A video I make, until, of course, tomorrow night. Usually I make one on Sunday in the morning, that kind of thing for you guys, the day of, that kind of deal. It's not going to happen this week because of the leak. It's really hard, for me to keep up my normal rhythm when something gets leaked and I want to discuss with you guys what potentially could happen, but then 30%, of you guys, and I'm nothing against you guys, but 30% of the audience has seen it, so they're correcting what I'm predicting as it's going because they've seen the whole episode. So it really ruins the conversation for how we can do this because some people have seen it and know every event that happens in the entire thing. They've seen it all the way through. Some people post clips on YouTube of some important scenes in it, and it shows up, wherever the hell. I've seen a few of those in my recommended already. Not like YouTubers, but like people who just upload people to, upload videos, upload episodes. Okay, so it's not really the same as like me or, some people who produce content where they just upload the actual scenes, like Game of Thrones would for an important scene, or AMC would for The Walking Dead for an important scene. So, it's really crazy this happened. Now, apparently, at least this comes from username okay, and he says latest episode for Game of Thrones has been leaked again, and boy is it a treat. It was leaked this time by HBO's Spain affiliate. Is it more, or does HBO have some really shoddy security measures? And in this situation, they're the ones that I do have to blame for this. I mean, you can't blame people for watching a leak once it's leaked. They're going to obviously they want to see it. They're huge fans of the show. They don't want to have to wait. But at the same time, it's like, when HBO allows something like that to happen, people like me that don't necessarily want to know which characters die, what happens in an episode, and especially if it's, the equivalent of Battle of the Bastards for the season. At least, see, here's where it happens already. Maybe it is, but I mean, I don't know for sure if this is like Battle of the Bastards. And don't tell me, people that have watched it. Do you see how it makes it so hard to discuss this? Because some people are like, well, Trev, it's not as good as Battle of the Bastards. It's not quite there. It's not the same type of thing as Battle of the Bastards. It's just like a good episode. But this is supposed to be like our finale episode for the season, or like one of the biggest episodes for the season, with the only episode probably beating it being the 7th episode, the final episode, which is longer. So that's basically where it's at, is where, it got spoiled for me already, and I'm just like, God damn it, it's kind of like, when Battle of the Bastards hit, it was not spoiled for me. So I was able to watch it all the way through with a sense of understanding, that I didn't really know if Ramsay was going to win or Jon was going to win. And it was so exciting to see the episode the first time, because I really just didn't know, who was going to win this battle. I mean, I thought Jon was going to win, and I had predicted that in some of the videos, but I didn't know for sure, because it wasn't something that was spoiled, leaked, and then told to me in a comment from a viewer. In this case, yeah, that did happen. So it's a big time piss off for sure, man, because, and I do blame HBO for letting it leak somehow. Whatever happened with them, however it got out, it's really unfortunate, and for the people that saw the leak right away, then okay. For you guys, not too bad. But for other people that wanted to wait and then started to get the leak information spoiled to them, if they read a forum comment, or, who knows what the hell, a post or something, or they were just browsing around, next thing you know, they saw some crazy spoiled, big thing that's going to happen. Like, for example, spoiler warning, Jon defeats Ramsay, and then Sansa kills Ramsay. It's like the equivalent of saying, like, before anyone saw Battle of the Bastards, oh yeah, this is what happens. Jon beats Ramsay's ass, and then, this all happens, and then Sansa unleashes the dogs on Ramsay, and then they eat him. And that's the end for him. So, yeah, I got to be careful with spoilers, I think. And for this case, it really did kind of, it kind of killed it for me. So in my review, I'm going to try to be unbiased and not allow that to affect my review, and do my review as I normally do for you guys. But for sure, when you find stuff out ahead of time like that for big events, for stuff that could be fresh that you really don't know what's going to happen in, it's definitely going to take away from the episode. So, I mean, I don't know how HBO could let this happen. You can't let something like Battle of the Bastards, or this episode, which is the second last episode, which is always the biggest episode for Game of Thrones each season, is the second last one. That's when they do kind of their finale, big event type stuff. I don't know how they could allow this to happen, but it did. So anyway, for you guys, let you guys, if you didn't know, leaks out there, maybe you can find it online on some watch sites, or I don't know, torrents, or whatever the hell people want to do. That's up to you, man. It's whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, if you don't want to know, I'd suggest, stay out of, any kind of Game of Thrones social media or sites or anything for a little while, because it's what it is. And like I said, I won't be posting a video tomorrow, probably as a Q&A, because the conversation, it just doesn't work the same way, because certain people know information that they're not supposed to know, really, for that time period. You guys get what I'm saying? Lord Nikon 2K4 says, hey Trev, love the channel and appreciate all of the time that you put into making the great videos for us on a daily basis. I was wondering if you would ever consider doing some character spotlight videos for Game of Thrones. Your spotlight videos that you have done for The Walking Dead are some of my favorite ones. So thanks, Lord Nikon. That's something that I probably will do, especially as we get closer to the end of Game of Thrones. I'm planning on doing a lot more reflective videos once Game of Thrones ends. Maybe I could take a month, 2 months when Game of Thrones finally ends, and I could just try to produce, focus on that a lot more than Walking Dead for that time, just because it's such a huge thing. It's a huge event for Game of Thrones to finally end after eight years. And, it's just developed such a huge following. When I started reviewing Game of Thrones and making videos for it, and I have done character spotlight videos for Game of Thrones in the past before, it's just something I don't do that much nowadays, but I used to do a lot more. When I started reviewing Game of Thrones in Season 2, after the first season ended, and doing predictions and all that kind of stuff for it, videos, there was nobody. And the show has just gone into the stratosphere of just fan demand. It's insane. It's become so huge that it's really something that I really enjoyed. I'm going to be sad to see it go, but definitely We'll do lots of videos like that. Feel free to send me suggestions in the future. Any of you guys, including Lord Nikon here, for any videos you'd like to see. I'll take that in consideration, and maybe I'll try to do one Game of Thrones spotlight for a character spotlight after this season ends. We'll have to see how the season works out and what happens. But yeah, when the series for sure ends totally, we could do a few of those and give our thoughts back on some of the most important characters in the series, and whichever ones are surviving all the way to the end, because we'll have to see who's left standing. Again, see, that's part of the excitement, is really not knowing who's going to be left standing at the end of Game of Thrones. If it's not leaked, if everything's locked up, then nobody really knows, and it's fun because then you can predict and you don't know, right? But then once HBO lets that leak, all of a sudden it kills all that build up and all that suspension, because or suspense, not suspension, suspense leading up to it, because you really don't know who's going to survive in the end. Is Daenerys going to win? Is Cersei somehow going to pull this out? It's really exciting to see. marcmjm says, Trev, Q&A for Game of Thrones. Do you think that Cersei will begin to move into more of an anti-hero role? Initially, we predicted that Cersei would die and the war for the Iron Throne would be resolved by the end of Season 7. But now it looks like she will be uniting with Daenerys to defeat the White Walkers in Season 8. What are your thoughts on this? Could Cersei become a viable ally to Daenerys and Jon? So I would say no. I believe Cersei, as Queen of Thorns called her, a disease. I would say she's a scourge. I agree with her. She is a disease. She's like cancer, and you got to get it out. You got to take the rot out, cut it out, right? I believe that's the case. Even if she was to help you 1 second, you better be careful, because she'll stab you in the back the very next second. She's biding her time right now because it's the best move for her to make in terms of the chess game here. It's what Tywin would do for sure. Some people have mentioned in the comments. Cersei is not really turning over a new leaf. She's more, and this is what people, again, this is predictions, right? People think that, she's really just doing what's best for herself so that she can survive and wait for the right time to take on Daenerys. And, right now, Daenerys is so strong. She's got the 3 dragons and everything. And, she's just so absolutely strong that Cersei knows right now she does not have an army to mess with it. Jaime in episode 4, they got their asses kicked by just 1, and the Dothraki. So, I think they realize at this time Daenerys can take them anytime, and their best bet right now is to act like they're in allegiance to her and wait for the right opportunity to strike. I am very surprised by the fact that Cersei is going to survive into the battle with the White Walkers into the final season. I did think she would be gone by this point, but it could make it like one of the most exciting seasons ever, because then you don't just have one villain and it's not a simple story. You have a more Game of Thrones type story where you have different factions and different villains and them uniting together to face against this one villain, and then once that villain maybe looks like it's going to be defeated, she turns on the others. So, and then it creates chaos, and we'll have to see how it all works out. That's very exciting, though, for sure, to see how that all goes. Next one is, hi Trev, I think very few of Jon Snow's Beyond the Wall with the raid party will make it out alive. I think Gendry, the Hound, and Jon Snow will be the only ones who survive. Just my prediction, though. Thoughts? So, again, because it's been spoiled for me, now I can't make predictions on it anymore. It's too late now. But I did that earlier, so you could check that earlier this week if you want to. And let's do like 1 or 2 more. Derek Loback says, I don't understand their plan. Why are they bothering to try to convince Cersei White Walkers are real? And yeah, I hear what you're saying too. Right now they probably could use the help. They probably don't want to fight another war while the White Walkers are so close. But at the same time, you can't trust Cersei as far as you can throw her. Even if she knows that these guys are coming in there for real, it's still Cersei, But again, Daenerys doesn't really know Cersei. She doesn't really know what we know about her. So for her, it makes sense. Actually, Jon doesn't really know her either, to be honest, to that degree. So for them, I suppose the plan makes sense from their perspective. From us as viewers, we know better that joining with Cersei like that is really going to be a bad idea. Tyrion also must know that as well, too, I would think. James Royal says, this will be the last one. Q&A, Trev. Did you notice the first guard to get effed up by Gendry was Ned in the Bravos play? Sloppy casting or same character? So I didn't notice that. If that is true, that's a nice catch from you. I didn't notice that at all because I haven't seen that episode for quite a while now since it originally aired, the Bravos play one. But that is pretty cool. So that's something, I suppose, an Easter egg or kind of a mess up to cast the same person again. Wasn't Conor McGregor, isn't he supposed to be in an episode here? I'll have to wait to see. I don't think, did I miss it? Was he in an episode already? I don't think I caught it. Maybe it's one of these last two, so we'll see. Anyway, that'll be it for today's Q&A, sort of, guys. Kind of rant about, them leaking shit and me being mad about it because now they've ruined the episode for me. If you did like the video anyway, you can thumb it up below. You can share and favorite, all that good stuff. I won't ask you to leave a comment below, but if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev. Well, tomorrow night for the review as per usual. And I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.